Hey everybody, Hey Cardboard here, and in this video we are doing part 3, the final part of our Proxmox Backup Server 321 series. This one we're going to be doing Cloudflare R2 Offsite Backups. Now there's a few screens on Cloudflare I'm just going to skip past. There are screenshots in this guide here where you can see what the API token section looks like with account ID. I just don't, I'm not great at editing videos and I don't want to go through and like blur all my tokens and maybe potentially forget some. Account ID is sensitive and S3 API key includes the account ID in it. So those things, it should be pretty obvious on Cloudflare where you need to go. So we're just going to kind of skip the Cloudflare part, but there are screenshots in the actual guide here. So reference the guide, it'll be linked in the description of the video, as always. And I do go into a little bit more depth in the written guide because I have a little bit more time and it's easier to explain things sometimes in there. So always check out the guides. Anyways, let's get started. This one I think is one of the best ways to back up. So we'll jump in. And the first thing is just this diagram here. So we've seen part 1, we did the USB drive. Part 2, we did another PBS. So we did a PBS to PBS sync. And now we're doing Cloudflare R2. This will be our offsite backups. And because we're using Cloudflare R2, we want to be cognizant of our usage. They have a free tier, and one way of doing that is you can do full backups to like a USB drive, no problem. You can do full backups to another PBS secondary unless you're short on space. But Cloudflare R2, for me, I only back up essential containers. I don't just back up everything to it. It keeps the Class A and Class B reads and writes and deletes low. So when possible, only back up like critical services. If you don't mind paying a little bit, you can back up everything. And we're also going to kind of set our syncs to weekly instead of daily like we would. And so you'll see as we go through, but there's a few, again, I go a little bit deeper so you can see kind of like what's included in the free tier, what Class A or Class B operations are. But first thing you're going to want to do is go in and create a bucket. And you're also going to want to create an API token. And this is just on the main storage page for Cloudflare. And you can create an account API token name, a PBS backup. You see R2 here because it's kind of a pain to delete out stuff from Cloudflare R2. You can do it through PBS if you want to like clear out your existing backups, but for the screenshots, I'm using PBS backups R2, but for the video, I'll actually just be using PBS-backups. And you can see the different permissions that you want to select. We need admin because we need to be able to list the buckets. If you do only read and write for objects, you won't be able to list buckets though. So you'll definitely need admin, which is kind of a shame, but should be fine. All right, so this is going to be an S3 endpoint. So we go into PBS, S3 endpoint, add, and the endpoint ID, we'll just do Cloudflare R2. Region, you're just going to put auto. And S3 endpoint, luckily this you won't see the sensitive part. And access key, that doesn't matter much because I'm going to delete that out. And the secret, and we're going to do path style, and we don't need a fingerprint. So we'll just go ahead and click add, and now we have our S3 endpoint set up. Now we need to create the S3 backed Datastore. So it can be a little confusing because we think offsite is going to be a remote, but it's actually going to be a local data store. So we're going to come in here, click add data store, and this is going to stay as S3, so tech preview. So not local, but S3, but you'll see later it's kind of listed as local, which can be confusing. So let's just name this R2 offsite. We'll do a cache path, and this is just local chunk storage. And then we'll do S3 endpoint. We already have our Cloudflare R2, and this should automatically populate. And I do have two of them in here, like I said, but this is where you need to be able to list the buckets. So you can select PBS backups. And let's see, so we're going to do weekly for garbage collection, but none for prune. So we'll go ahead and delete that out. And I think I said, what did I say, weekly? Yeah, weekly. So every Saturday. And you can change this if you need. It doesn't have to be Saturday. Oh, actually, this was supposed to be none, and this was supposed to be every Saturday. There we go. All right. And prune options, you can just leave as is. And we'll go ahead and click Add. This takes a second. All right, our R2 offsite is set up. And like anything else, we're going to be doing a pull sync job. So we'll go ahead and click Add pull sync job. And this is where I'm talking about. It is a local pull. It's local because it's connected to your PBS. It is technically a remote in some sense, but we're going to select backups as our data source. And we just want this to be weekly. Again, we don't need, this is our offsite. This is kind of like last resort. Everything else has failed. We use these backups. So we're just going to do weekly. And we want to make sure we click remove vanished. And this is where it gets important, the group filter. So you want to filter to just the critical containers. Now again, if you want to pay a little bit, you can back up everything. But for me, let's just say I want to do a container 100 and I'll do container 101. Those are the two that I want to include in the backup. Let me just move this up here, click add. Okay, so we got everything set up. And now we can actually pull those backups. So we'll click run now. And you can see found two groups because that's the two groups that we added out of 5 total. So we're only backing up 2. Okay, that took about a minute and I only did 2 containers and there's not a lot of data. So if you have 15, 20 containers or services, virtual machines, it's going to take a little bit longer. So go ahead and click this X. If we go to content, we can see container 100 and 101 are looking good. So let me just double check the guide here, make sure I didn't forget anything. Perfect. All right, disaster recovery. So Proxmox, it's still connected to PBS. Let's say PBS and Proxmox go down and we need to use a reverse sync from our Cloudflare R2. Now, obviously, you're going to reinstall Proxmox, you're going to reinstall PBS, primary backups, but you're going to have no backups, basically, to restore Proxmox. So what we're going to need to do is a reverse sync to pull that down into PBS primary backups. So let's go ahead and destroy this container. We'll do a stop. Okay, it should be stopped. We'll go and do remove. All right, this container is gone. Now, typically you just come into PBS, you'd sort this, and you'd say, okay, I got Pi-hole, I'm going to restore it. But let's say PBS dies also. So we'll go into our primary backups here. We'll select this, right-click it, remove, and this is our primary backup. We're now removing our Pi-hole, and it's gone. So if we come back in here and we hit refresh, if we're replicating a real scenario, this is what it would look like. Well, typically all of these would be gone, but in this case, we only deleted out our test one because it's just a demo. We can basically see that we wouldn't be able to restore from our primary backups. Now, if we go into PBS, we can do a reverse sync job. So we just need to do a single sync job to pull down the data. So if we go to sync jobs, we click add, we're going to do a pull, and it is local, and you're going to do R2 offsite, and we're not doing any sort of schedule, we're just doing a one-time pull down. Now, because I only deleted out container 100, I'm going to go in and do group filter, and I'm just going to say I only want to sync back 100. So it'll make it a little bit quicker. You can just do both, but you're going to get probably an error saying, that already exists or something, and it won't sync. This just keeps it nice. We don't need remove vanished, again, because this is like a one-time thing. We're restoring our primary backups. We'll click add, we'll click the job ID, we'll click run now, and boom, that quick, we pulled everything down. If we go into our content, and we click reload, Pi-hole is back now. And I like to just, we want this as a one-time thing. So we'll go into sync job and we'll just remove it because we really don't need to be doing this more than once. So we'll remove that out of there so we don't accidentally do anything we don't want to do. And now that we have our content back, we can go into Freddy and we can refresh. And we can see we have Pi-hole back, click restore, start after restore, click restore, and just like that. In a matter of minutes, after getting all of simulated, but after minutes of having Freddy backup, our PBS backup, we're able to restore our containers, and this is running. We can see, hit enter a few times. There we go. So we could log in and everything is good for our Pi-hole. So that's kind of like the whole scenario, right? We lost everything and we had to get it back from our offsite. Maybe the house burned down or something. Anyways, you can look through the guide. It goes over each step. We have a troubleshooting down here if you have issues with some of the most common things. And that's it. So we've got both the previous parts. If you haven't checked them out, you should definitely, USB is super easy, a nice way to air gap. You can do like a thumb drive or something. Very cool features with PBS. This is not like the most glorious thing to do with your home server, your home lab, but it's essential. You should really follow 3-2-1. Everyone's like, not me, it's not going to happen to me. Trust me, it happens. And having these backups will save you a ton of time. All right, that'll be it for this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. There's going to be a lot more content coming out, and I'll see you in the next one.